And joining us now in our studio is former U.S. Homeland Security official Douglas Smith. Douglas is currently the Executive Vice President of MWW, a government relations firm here in Washington, D.C. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We just heard Yasser talking about the situation there. Obviously, ISIL is going after areas where there is strife. How are they able to recruit in North Africa? What are they offering these possible sleeper cells?
I mean, that's been the amazing thing. They are very adept at looking at places where people are looking for hope. In a country that has been racked since Gaddafi fell, with two rival governments, all sorts of opportunity for ill will, if you will, and for people to come into mischief. They've done an amazing job through social media, through giving militants an opportunity to be part of something larger. I mean, they are amazing at marketing the terror skills that they bring to the battlefield.
Are they offering money?
Unclear. I think what they're really offering is a sense of belonging to something. Everybody wants to belong to something, whether it's a good thing, a church, etc., or a bad thing such as a terror cell. That's the thing they're offering, being part of something larger.
The towns of Sirte and Derna are now under ISIL's control. These are these coastal Mediterranean cities. Can they secure the gains that they've had in Iraq and Syria in northern Africa?
I think that's the thing we'll watch, and I think that's what the Egyptians have been so active about, and where the strife this week between Egypt and Qatar came, is Egypt wants to push them out before they have a chance to hold on to that land, and that will be the trick. How quickly can we disrupt that? If they settle in for too long, it will get harder and harder.
I think this was so frightening for so many people, or Westerners especially, when they saw the beheadings of these Coptic Christians from Egypt right there. People thought, wow, this could be basically anyone. The masked man held a knife and pointed to Italy and said, you know, God willing, Rome, you're next. Do you think we'll see a time, or will the UN become more involved where they are going over and capturing just civilians, tourists on the streets?
I mean, what we're seeing right now already is, this past week in Denmark, what we saw in France, what we've seen in Great Britain, are these individual cells going out? So it's already happening. I think the question now will be how aggressive, now that it's spiked, will both the European powers and now the powers in the Middle East be in trying to tap it back down. I think it was a big step this past week with a lot of the Muslim nations getting together and trying to really address it. But we're seeing that they're not all on the same page. I mean, Egypt's clearly being very forceful in what they want to do. Qatar pushing back. The Jordanians being very forceful. The question will be how quickly will the Saudis and the Kuwaitis and other nations in the region join this fight.
It seems like as they dip their toe in these other countries that they would continue to alienate neighbors, and the response would be just a growing faction against them, and that this will backfire for them eventually.
One would hope. I mean, I thought when the horrible killing of the Jordanian pilot happened, that would be a major tipping point. It helped. I thought this past week in Egypt with the beheadings, that would help more. For some reason, they still continue to gain strength. I think all these things coming together, I don't know if you saw today up in Norway, there was a peace march where the whole series of Muslims actually surrounded a synagogue in a symbol of peace to say we're going to protect our Jewish brothers there. We've seen the Canadian military now talking about possibly getting involved. The big question will be who's going to be willing to send troops on the ground, one, and then two, what are the long-term solutions to prevent people from wanting to join? How will they create greater opportunities for the disenfranchised youth in these regions so they don't see these terror cells as their one way out?
Alrighty, Douglas Smith with MWW, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.